Stay, ladies, stay!
Hi everyone! Today I get to listen to Lay Lady Lay again, but this time performed by a completely different band and in a completely different style than with Bob Dylan. Now, Vlad just told me as I walked in that the name of the band is Ministry. I said, Ministry? That sounds like either a religious name or a governmental name. Well, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I don't know where they came up with the name. I have no idea, but this is going to be interesting. I need to read a little bit about them because I don't recall ever hearing this name before. And obviously I'm clueless as to who they are, what their style is. So I will read this, but first let me remind you that if you want to have access to first listens in advance to what I put on YouTube, then you can always go to my Ko-fi and Patreon pages. And of course, if you want to be able to hear other things which I am producing, other videos, series, first listens, even things like the Beatles 150, which unfortunately YouTube has made it very difficult. I can't put them on YouTube anymore. That's where you'll find them. So let's see what we have here. Ministry. Ministry is an American industrial metal band founded in Chicago, Illinois in 1981 by producer, singer, and instrumentalist Al Jorgensen. That name sounds vaguely familiar. Perhaps it has come up in some discussions or something. I don't know. Somehow it sounds familiar to me. Originally a synth pop outfit, Ministry evolved into one of the pioneers of industrial rock and industrial metal in the late 1980s. Oh, like factory noise, right? We'll see. Ministry's experimentation, stylistic variation, and changes during their career cross several genres of popular music. Alternative rock subgenres, such as industrial rock and industrial metal, are umbrella terms predominantly used to describe the band's career in general, but Ministry has been classified under many other genres, including EBM, industrial dance, techno rock, hard rock, heavy metal, speed metal, thrash metal, and electro-industrial. Well, there's either something speedy, thrashy, noisy, or industrial in most of those names. Their early output has been categorized as new wave, synth pop, dance pop, electronic dance, and dark wave. That seems like quite a stylistic shift in their career. Well, I don't even know where in their career this recording falls. So I'm walking into it rather blind. We'll see how it goes. Definitely more industrial than Bob Dylan. Sounds a bit like a tractor, huh? Oh, there's still that little motif in there. Isn't it interesting how you can have the same piece of music, the same lyrics, even the same riff, bum, 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 and you set it up differently, instrumentally, sonically, tonally, and it gives a completely different experience. It communicates something entirely different than the other one. I remember when I listened to the Bob Dylan version just a few hours ago, I remember being struck by several things. First of all, the lyrical quality. Second of all, this sort of old-fashioned sense of dignity and self-respect and respect for the other in the whole exchange and presentation. The sweetness and the tenderness, as well as the very direct message, which was both inviting, suggestive, and at the same time still very respectful. Now here I'm listening to this, and I would not use any of those descriptors for this music at all. It's aggressive, and it's dominating, it's confrontational, it's even violent, and there's this sort of well, of course, even his singing style. It's like he's screaming at the other, threatening the other. Lay, lady, lay across my big brass bed. I mean, it completely changes the message of the song. Even though we have the same riff, the same musical motif. Bum, 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 which I talked about in the Dylan. And if you haven't heard the Bob Dylan first listen, you should check it out. Here's the link. We have that, which is one of the fingerprints, the markers, the primary compositional elements of the music itself. And we have the same lyrics, which also, they haven't changed. They are what they are. And yet, the entire message has been changed, flipped on its head. And we don't walk away with that same sense of dignity and self-respect. This little solo bridge section, whatever we want to call it here, let's listen to that again. Remember how I talked in the Bob Dylan version about the descending riff and how it communicates part of this message for us musically. Well, listen here. We have that descending riff. We also have in the guitar above, in this little section, this long crying descending line. Listen. And then falling again. It's as if it's tapping into this descending message and carrying it even further. It's a fall, a free fall, a dive downwards musically here. And well, this isn't nearly as humorous. It doesn't have the cartoonish element to it. But it reminds me a bit of the last portion of Tommy the Cat, which I listened to recently. This sort of animalistic, instinct-driven being governed by our passions as if that is our highest form of existence. It is this very, well, animalistic attitude. And here, even the music is conveying that. But what was it that Tommy the Cat said? Come, ladies. Say babies. Lie down with me, or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but it's what they've done here is they've turned lay lady lay into that kind of say baby, come lie down with me idea. It's aggressive and it's all about the physical rather than anything deeper, gentler. I'm going to say higher in terms of attitude towards the other. It's just interesting seeing how this music presents it in that way. It's a command.
Stay, lady, stay.
Now we fall into this thrashing, beating, musical quality. It's interesting also the way that this production is more sonically, well, obviously it comes at a later time. It's more sonically manipulated and engineered. More sonically manipulated, engineered in its production. The echoes of the voices and the reverb, which is clearly artificially produced in this song, also gives it a harder, more distant. It doesn't have the same intimate quality. Well, of course you can't have intimacy when real intimacy when your attitude toward a relationship is this. The Bob Dylan version, it felt intimate, not in a really sappy sort of way, but just, can I say practically intimate? I guess that's somewhat what I'm trying to explain here. Ordinarily so. It's part of the life that is being lived. Whereas here, anything that masquerades as intimacy is purely sexual in nature. It is, and it is very shallowly sexual in nature. I wouldn't even say that it's sensual. It's merely sexual and instinct driven. Menacing at the end, isn't it? Another piece of music that I'm being reminded of as I listen to this is The Doors' The End. And especially that section where Jim Morrison is singing F, 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 F. And this sort of aggression and power trip which is being presented. And, well, of course, with the end, it was part of a whole philosophical narration development of some rather complex and important ideas. There was a message there which I could see the intent and the line of development of thought. Now in this one, it's from start to finish, that is the attitude that we get, that we feel in this music. And I'm curious, well, whether it's a woman or a man, I can't think of any reason, I can't imagine any self-respecting woman or man or anybody else responding positively towards this kind of assault, basically. If somebody were to walk up to you and yell at you in that manner, wouldn't you turn and go the other way as quickly as you can? But surely there must be some reason for it, because I'm thinking, well, remember, I really enjoyed Bob Dylan's version and his presentation of the topic and the ideas within it and how it all came about. And musically, I enjoyed it as well. So why does one take a piece of music like that, which is so well done, and has such a nice presentation of a worthy message, and turn it into something like this? Basically, reverse everything about it and turn it into this aggressive power trip, assaultive message. And I am not merely talking about the sound of the music. I'm not saying this simply because I don't love this kind of, as I was joking at the beginning, factory noise. This industrial, this metal, this incredibly heavy, hard musical style. It's more about the message that's being communicated through this and how this music is contributing to and creating, shaping that message. And I'm curious what the reason for taking this song and presenting it in this way was. Surely there must have been a reason. Is it simply because they liked it and they wanted to do it themselves and they had to do it in their own style? Did they have some other reason? Is it cultural, time and place? There are a lot of things that I don't know and I'm curious about. So if you have any ideas, feel free to share them in the comments, because I don't even have to tell you which one of these two is my favorite. But this has been a very interesting comparison and exploration of a piece of music from two incredibly different perspectives. Well, of course, this is Ministry's take on Bob Dylan's Lay Lady Lay, and it's been an interesting experiment. I guess I would do it again. I'll have to ask Vlad, and maybe you can even suggest some comparisons as well. Original and then cover or reworking of a particular piece of music. If you suggest something, I do have a request. I would like it to be something that has something worthwhile to explore about it. So if you think it has something worthwhile to explore, feel free to suggest something in the comments, and Vlad will go through and pick some out, and maybe you'll see your suggestions showing up on my channel sometime in the future. I'll see you next time.